Honestly, I still have goosebumps writing the script for this video because holy shit, this episode 10 for X-Men 97, was amazing. This series is so damn fire. I absolutely love it. I made a video halfway through the series and I thoroughly enjoyed it all, and I loved every second of the series. Even got a new appreciation of episode 4 watching it again with the wife who also enjoys the series, and I have a more enjoyment out of both aspects of that episode with Jubilee and Storm. So, major things to remember, right? Nathan is born and sent to the future to help cure his techno-organic disease, and the one who birthed him, Madeline Pryor, was a clone made by Sinister. Magneto is then shown to be now the owner of the X-Men, the school, and all of Xavier's property, and he is put on trial. Storm loses her powers in the chaos and she leaves, all the while Rogue and Magneto get close. Very close, if you know what I mean. Then the tragedy of Genosha happens. Magneto is thought to be dead and Gambit destroys the big old Super Sentinel like mold thing machine, right? At the cost of his own life. Unfortunately. Rip my boy Gambit. Everybody caught up? Everybody good? Because I'm gonna go straight to the spoilers right now if you haven't caught up. Yeah. Awesome. Let's talk about the story and how good it is from where I left off. Episode 6 was half an episode of Xavier still alive. Oh boy, what a shock, right? And Storm, where she gets her powers back and had an awesome flying sequence for her, only to find out what happened at Genosha, which kind of cut down her happiness quite a bit, honestly. Episode 7 blows me away with Rogue going crazy trying to find Trask and the X-Men trying to help out at Genosha. The team would rally up with Rogue to find Trask, who spills the beans on the mastermind being Bastion, before Rogue goes ahead and tries to murder him, throws him off a building, and everyone's like, Rogue, why did you do that? None of you stopped me, and they're like, yeah. Which kind of made me laugh. None of them really did anything. They sort of just watched because I guess they sort of thought that maybe somebody else would try to stop them, but they all felt the same way, which is pretty fucked if you really think about it. So, they think that Trask is dead. We thought so too. It was all super dramatic, raining and everything, and you know she was fucking pissed, Rogue, and they found out with Rogue getting fucking one punched that Trask was turned into a biological super sentinel. So that's fucking cool. They were then saved by Cable, my fucking boy, where Jean would reveal that Cable is Scott's and Madeline's son. Holy shit. All this time, oh my god, of course we knew, but they didn't, so it was pretty sweet, it was pretty crazy for them. But they would hear how Bastion would create a future of mutants being forced to basically live for humanity, using their powers to, put them up higher than themselves, correct, right? So half the team goes to find Bastion and the others go to the mansion to, try to find a way to stop the Super Sentinels. They would try to go ahead and find a way to stop the Super Sentinels, but they were attacked by waves and waves of Super Sentinels all across the planet. Wolverine and Nightcrawler would have an awesome battle against him, but there were just too goddamn many. Cable, Scott, and Jean would find out Bastion is a human Sentinel who is basically a mutant with the power over the Sentinel tech. As far as I remember that being, because it makes sense, I suppose, because he made people into biological Super Sentinels, but he is a mutant technically with the power to control Sentinel tech and maybe technology in of itself, I suppose, right? Sorry for the stutter, but it's just it's a little bit weird. They gotta make that a little bit more clear. But to me, he's just somebody who can control Sentinel tech, and he could have been one of the first X-Men, which could have been fucking baller, but his mom just kind of said, no, I'm scared of my son being part of this new race of beings, so no. And I guess maybe lied to him about what truly happened there, and also the message that's in his brain of destroy all mutants sort of fucking with him as well. So yeah, he has some issues. And with that, Magneto is shown to be alive somewhere in the episode, and he was let go before hitting the Earth with a wave that took out a lot of its electricity from the world, and from everybody's reactions, everyone's like, holy shit, what's going on? Then they showed us fucking Spider-Man, which was fucking sick. Hell yeah. That shit made me jump out of my bed when watching the shit. I love it. This was cool. This was cool. But after this, Charles arrives at the mansion and tries to rally his X-Men. but they are still shaken from his return and the shit that's going on in the world. They aren't really too keen on, listening to the professor at the moment. And Magneto took this opportunity to sort of like recruit them for his cause, for his whole thing. And that's when Rogue and Sunspot, the Hispanic dude that Jubilee's been going ahead and dating, I suppose, goes ahead and joins him on Asteroid M. This will lead the team to be split up. Scott, Nightcrawler, Xavier, and Wolverine go to the Asteroid M, and the rest would try to disable Bastion with a collar that would, I suppose, stop his control over all the Sentinels in the world, right? Which it's cool, but like, they could have had a chance to sort of disable his powers, but Storm was like, no, fuck all that. I mean, you're not doing that. While everyone on Asteroid M fights, but soon as Xavier tries to take over Magneto's mind, Scott stops him because on Earth, the rest of the team are pretty much struggling like hell. They're getting their fucking ass beat, and Cable is now being taken over by Mr. Sinister, who is now fighting Jean, and he stops Xavier because, he just says, hey, they need more time to do these things, and if you go ahead and bring the power back on, that means a bunch of Sentinels will come back, and it'll make things much more harder for them. So, Logan goes ahead and just stabs Magneto, who, in response, proceeds to rip the adamantium from his fucking bones, which I wasn't, prepared for such a thing, so, holy shit, yeah. Wolverine is now adamantiumless, so that's fun. So, we would reach episode 10, where Xavier has forcibly made Magneto return to Earth and the electricity to how it was, but because both were connected in their sort of mindscape, they went into a sort of little coma, right, together. While Jean appeared to have been killed by Cable, who was, mind controlled by Sinister, Jean summons the power of the Phoenix Force to incapacitate both Sinister and Bastion and, free her son, right, who sort of accepts her as his mom, which is really neat. I really love that. However, Bastion knocks everybody out and takes Cable's metal arm and uses it to upgrade himself because it is a super futuristic super arm with metal that he just combined with, I suppose, and he just became his version of the future incarnate, which is kind of badass. So his plan after upgrading himself: go to Asteroid M, beat up the Xmen, and use said asteroid to crash into Earth, destroying everything because fuck everybody. If I lose, everybody loses. That's my energy. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. He'll start from square one again. He doesn't care. He has time. So he quickly arrives and everyone tries to fight him, and it's pretty badass. I love when Rogue fights him, telling Bastion about Gambit's name and to remember it. Fucking baller, man. I love it. Rip Gambit. Oh my god. The feels, the way she goes ahead and punched him and just says remember it. I'm like, this is amazing, this is baller, this is 10 out of 10, fuck yes. So after a big old scuffle and everybody sort of reunites on Asteroid M to fight Bastion, they are all ready to fight him. However, Scott pulls a talk no jutsu and tries to reason with Bastion, and that it's time to stop fighting the future and just accept it. And that's Bastion representing the future and the future he creates, and they sort of are trying to accept him and sort of trying to talk to him that this is not right. At the same time, though, the US, or I'm pretty sure the United Nations, decided to nuke Planet M, which Captain America is sort of like, sir, I don't think that's a good idea. We don't know anything about Planet M. And, the president's like, fuck it, we're gonna nuke it. And they did. They did. And in ensuing chaos, when the gravity sort of thing explodes, it creates a sort of black hole or something, and presumably Bastion died, right? The asteroid is falling towards Earth. The X-Men are trying their best to stop it at all costs, all the while Xavier is trying to reason and help fix Magneto's mind, and go to where the hurt is centered with Magneto and try to help him out, because a lot of his hurt is centered to where the men came to his village and took everything away from him, which is a big thing when it comes to Magneto's character, his past as a child. And I thought it was just lovely to sort of hint that. They didn't really show much of it, but they sort of just really hinted towards it. They told you, but they just went ahead. Oh my god, it's too much to explain. I don't want to spoil it. I need you guys to watch it because it's just it hits you in the feels. So the entire team tries their best to stop Asteroid M from falling until Magneto wakes up and helps Planet M get back to orbit, but it disappears and most of the members of the X-Men were just gone. And everybody else were just wondering like what the fuck happened? Like where did they go? So like 6 months later, I suppose, Bishop would show up and explain that someone took the X-Men away through time. Oh my god. So this is where we see Scott and Jean flung into the future, where they are reunited with a young Cable, which is super sweet, super nice. I love that so much. I love that sort of ending for them. And the rest of the team is super in the past, where they meet a very young Apocalypse, and this is pretty neat. Then after the credits, Apocalypse is at the side of Genosha and looks very sad, and sees the disaster there. And he's like, oh damn, my peoples, everyone knows Apocalypse is the first mutant, and he sort of feels a certain way about it. So maybe in a weird way for season 2, they're like the X-Men that are with Apocalypse when he's younger will do something to help Apocalypse in the present not do whatever the hell he's gonna do that leads to the future that Jean and Scott and young Cable are in. So hopefully that could be pretty goddamn neat, right? I think that's where they're sort of trying to center that, right? But yeah, that's it. Then that's the last half of the series cut down to a decent bit. The show was great. It was just spectacular. I loved every moment of it. The part with Morph turning into Jean to tell Logan his feelings through her, it was sweet, but I didn't really care for it. It's probably a good idea they did not try to develop this at all, because I think a lot of the fans would not want such a thing to happen. But it being there will probably be a problem for many people, just because it exists, this sort of thing. But I don't really care. It didn't develop anywhere, so who cares, right? So something I also did like was the discussions with Magneto and Xavier were so nice, and at the end, seeing Xavier tell him about how he feels, the brotherhood he feels towards Magneto, it was just awesome, amazing to see. I love the connection made with Jean and Cable, how he accepts her as his mother as well, and Scott talking to him and getting closer to him as well. And the scene where Cable is sitting down looking that he can't do anything, and Jean and Scott sort of like visually like seeing off Cable, but potentially if they don't make it, and having Scott take off his visor and showing each other their eyes. It was great. It was just so emotional, so amazing. I loved all of it. It's great. I truly loved this series so goddamn much. I loved this season. Didn't know how they could top episode 5, but they absolutely fucking crushed it with episode 10, with the intense emotions and craziness going on. And honestly, I'm just gonna give this season a 10 out of 10. I love this series so much. Like I can just rewatch certain episodes or the entire thing if I really wanted to, because it's just that good. And the cameos, the goddamn cameos, my god. Peter Parker and Mary Jane appearing. Fuck yeah, Daredevil, Captain America, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, even Wando and Pietro in Magneto's Mindscape were a treat to see. Black Panther 2 with a line directly to the president, to the United Nations. Holy fucking shit, this is fucking baller. So seeing this is a great way to show the heroes of Marvel doing what we would think they would be doing during some crazy shit going on, when we're specifically focusing on a specific character or group. This is good. This is how things should be. This show didn't rely on cameos, which I loved, and did amazingly with the storylines in each episode that propelled the series even further. X-Men 97 is a certified banger that I honestly hope kickstarts more animated series that help make Marvel stuff feel fun and exciting again. I know a lot of people were kind of put off by the art of this season, but when they really get to it, like the really intense moments, the art and the animation just gets so good. I think my favorite moments was when Magneto was using his powers, or Xavier using his powers, or Magneto trying to force Magneto to use his powers, like when their minds are like sort of like battling each other. That shit is amazing. That's my favorite part of the animation when it comes to this season, was them using their powers and just it being just crazy. I think my second favorite was Cable using his psychic abilities to fight Jean, and it kind of gave me like a sort of like anime-ish sort of style to him using his abilities, and how they represented him using it, because they sort of like flashed him like with his powers, and like, oh my god, it's, you gotta watch it to for it to make sense, because it looked really fucking cool with how they use like the powers here in the series. And this just cemented that, you know, the animation is actually really good. It's a good decision to keep it like this. Sometimes it may look a little bit too clean, but hey, that's fine with me. The series is a 10 out of 10. Now, with the season over, what the hell will they be doing in season 2? What do you guys think? I think Apocalypse stuff will be interesting, especially if the team befriends him and maybe turns him into an ally. I don't know what'll happen in the future because of that. I don't know. Shit is about to get wild, right? It's about to get insane. So yeah, this is my review on Xmen 97, a whole 10 out of 10 series that really made you excited, sad, shocked, happy, just angry at times. He was like, what the fuck? This show is a goddamn drama, and I fucking love it. Tell me what you think of the show. Let me know what you think. Let me know all your thoughts about it. And with that being said, stay safe, mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys later. And thank you so much, everybody, for the support so far on the channel. Thank you. See you later.